Hello everyone, and welcomes to Star Trek Wolf-Rayet, a Star Trek Adventures 2nd Edition game using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are four lovely individuals who will meet right away because we have a coffee nebula that needs to be explored. So we will start with Caspian. Caspian, who you playing, and anything you want to shout out?
Well, I'm Caspian MK1. I'm playing Captain Lance Cannon, and nothing really to shout out this week.
Alright, up next we have Whiskey, same questions.
Hello, hello. I am playing Captain Meridian, the chief engineer. You know, your friendly neighborhood snake girl, about 10 feet tall and about 34 feet in length. Just normal snake girl. And things to shout out, I guess, vfleetproject.com. Me and my fellow sisters, they're pretty. I like women. Anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah, alright, I like that statement. I like women. Alright, sure. It's one of the first times it's ever been shouted out that way, but I'm not going to complain. Anyway, Kern, what do you got going on?
I'm Kern. I'm playing Commander Kishin, and I got nothing to point out except for she grew again, another 2 feet this time.
You're supposed to let the audience figure that out.
Was it 2 feet or 1 feet?
I don't know. I've
So it's
lost
two.
track at this point.
So have I. Are we sure she's not actually 200 feet long? Has anybody measured recently?
She's actually Ouroboros. She's actually encircled around the ship like 3 times.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to write that down. That sounds like a good mission prompt. Anyway, Food Cube, what do you got going on? Why I'm writing down my madness?
Hello, I play Lieutenant Mitz. I would like to shout out the voices in my head. That is all.
Well, what are the voices telling you?
Put that old man in a maid outfit.
Okay, yeah. All right, so we've got I Like Women and put that old man in a maid outfit. This is going to be a fun session, I can tell. All right, let's run that intro and we'll get started. And welcome back. So as is tradition in my Star Trek Adventures games, I have the players do an opening log, and I believe Lieutenant Mitz has that today, so please take it away.
Helmsman's log. Stardate supplemental. I've been scolded on not consistently keeping a log. I believe it is a weakness. Enemies could use them against you and perhaps even steal the data within them. But then again, I simply forget to keep one every now and then. Now, where was I? Oh, yes! The Wolf-Rayet has been conducting routine scans of the local XJ9 sector. According to the captains, has a nearby star-forming nebula of particular interest. However, it lies within a region of concentrated volatile gases. In truth, I'm hoping for something exciting to happen other than the usual scanning, report, and log.
All right, you may have momentum for that opening log. So we open with the Wolf-Rayet on the outskirts of a stellar nebula, where a large variety of protostars and other types of stellar formation are taking place. But for the moment, you're just sort of scanning, checking it out, and just having a good science-y time overall. And we start this way because I believe some of you have projects you wish to tackle.
Indeed. I don't know if anybody else does, but I know I have one.
All right.
So, Captain Meridian is down in engineering right now because, well, the phase cloak is pretty awesome, but it was kind of sort of put together just enough to work. And she'd really like to get this official and fully, properly bells and whistled and polished up all nice, so that it's actually reasonably reliable in case we need it in the future. So that's what she's doing right now, checking her logs and making minor tweaks and stuff to the systems.
Okay. I would say that this would probably be it's called a daring engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I would put the difficulty at a 4. And you, of course, can have one source of an assist for free.
Okay. Let's see.
I may recommend a certain lieutenant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Meridian to Mitts. I'm gonna be doing some final tweaks to the phase cloak. Do you want to come and assist with that, since it is partly yours as well in design?
Very well.
Awesome. I'll meet you down in engineering.
Oh, and hey, you just got a
All right.
momentum from chat. Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat.
So yeah,
All
to set the stage here, for Meridian, it's a daring engineering. For Mitz, it's a daring security. Difficulty of 4. You have 2 momentum. I have 8 threat. And we'll just sort of see what happens.
All right. Focus of subspace mechanics, since it's a phase cloak.
Yep, and espionage counts for Mitz.
Awesome. I'm planning on burning my determination immediately because I absolutely do not want a complication with the phase cloak.
Okay, so you'll start with 2
That
free
sounds
successes.
like bad things. Yes, I'm thinking of using a value I've used before. So this will be my second time using it. Make it work, make it right, make it fast. You can only have 2. In this case, I want to make it work and make it right. I don't care how long it takes me to do this.
Okay. And for advancement purposes, make sure you note that down, because that does qualify you for a little bit of advancement.
Awesome. Use 2 times. We're gonna give that a save. All right. Because I have bold engineering, you can have a treat.
Treat.
Yeah, so that brings me up to 3. And would it be 3 more momentum / threat to get the 4th dice?
No, that's actually a change in 2nd edition, where the determination doesn't add a die anymore. It just turns the first die in your pool into a 1.
Okay.
So it would only
that's
be
fair.
2 additional threat or 2 momentum to get the 4th die.
Cool, okay. So in that case, is everybody comfortable with me spending that 2 momentum?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
Good.
So I'll bring us up to 4 with 2 successes, and then we have at least 1 source of an assist. So I'm feeling confident, and I can re-roll any complications.
Well,
I'm
you
going to
can
re-roll that
re-roll
complication.
20. Oh, actually, hold on. Did you check using determination value in the roller?
Ooh, I actually don't think I did, no.
Then in that case, that 20 is a 1, because it turns the
1,
first
yeah.
die in the pool to a 1. So that would
checks
be
out, okay.
7 successes, meaning you
7.
get 3 momentum back.
Cool, good stuff. All right.
So what does this narratively look like as Mitz and Meridian sort of go ham on the phase cloak? What does that look like?
Well, let's let Mitt start with their side of things with it.
She's kind of winging it based on the schematics that she's remembering or misremembering. It depends.
That's fair. And Meridian is like reading the output from the module itself and then comparing with a bunch of different log sources on the ship, and then making like finite tweaks here and there, and making sure everything is looking right. And then once they're all nice and convinced that it's going to work, Meridian turns over to Mitz and goes, should we go with like a Romulan green for the paint on this module?
That would improve its aesthetics. I agree.
All right, cool. I'll go get some paint cans. Then she just starts painting it.
I don't know why I'm just literally imagining like a legitimate spray can, like one you would find at any hardware store these days.
Yeah, she's just being a bit silly with it, and because she thinks it adds more flair to do things like low tech when she's working on something like this. So she literally goes, computer, ancient earth, spray can.
Nice. So yeah, because I find it funny, as you are spraying the cloaking device down, an NPC walks in. I have already randomly rolled which NPC it is. It happens to be your Tellarite CMO, Warg. So you walk in and Warg says, "All right, Meridian, I am going to tell you one thing and one thing only. And where... Oh, no!" And he trips over your tail and flies right into the path of the paint, and you green his face.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, sorry about that. But
What in the hell is this? What? Why are you using an aerosol on a starship? You are aware that we're in a contained environment. That's particulates in the air. There's paint going to be in all of our Oh, it got on my tongue. Oh.
So I did sleep that when you asked me to. So I think we just focused to the fact that I actually slept for 24 hours.
I
think we shift
wasn't
the
coming
focus on
here to
that.
yell at you about your sleep. I was coming here to ask if I could have a sample of your... Oh, it's in my throat. Ah! I just
you
wanted a
just got a
sample
sample
of
right
your
now.
venom. Just your venom. That's
Oh.
all I wanted was a sample of your venom. That's it.
You want me to bite you?
No, I want you to bite this test tube, which is also green now. Great.
I'm, tell you what, how about you get a not green test tube and I'll bite that.
It's a good thing I carry a spare. And he pulls out a second one.
Nom. She literally says nom as she bites it.
Nice. And just like milking a snake in real life, you know, you just sort of get kind of a container underneath the fang and then kind of bump a little bit and the venom spurts out. It's really fun. I may or may not have one day wanted to be a snake milker, which sounds really weird in context, but I swear it's relevant. But Warg just says, "All right, that will do. If I am able to properly process your venom, you will be furthering the science of not only your people, but of the Tellarites as well."
Lovely.
Why do you need the captain's venom? Out
Well,
of curiosity?
it's a bit of an open secret, but Tellarites are deathly, let's say, allergic to all kinds of snake venom.
Thank you for sharing. I won't use that
Yes.
information later.
I have literally just realized I have told a Tulshar agent and somebody with venom that secret. I'm going to
you
leave
picked the
now
two
and-
worst.
I'm going to leave now before I... You know what, I'm just going to leave and get this green off my face. And he waddles off.
We have a funny CMO, don't we?
Yes. And we make a great team, I'd say.
We really do. We should team up more.
Yes, we should.
All right. So, with that handled, does anybody else have any project they want to work on, whatever it might be?
Well, the captain does.
Sure, what you got?
Well, currently he's sitting in his ready room, waiting on the security report from our commander there. And he's working on an old-style TOS tricorder.
Okay.
You can, since the first time we're seeing his ready room, it's your standard, like, I'd say, Enterprise D style ready room. You got the one desk, a little set of chairs, and behind the desk, mounted on the back wall, is a old TOS red shirt that's been worn, burned, cut, and a shadow box with an old style phaser and an empty spot where this tricorder was. And
Interesting.
he's currently sitting at his desk working on it.
Nice. And Commander Keshin, you can walk in when you deem appropriate with that report.
Okay, sure. I was gonna just wait till he was finished there. Yep. So, get to the door and it goes boop boop.
Enter.
I enter. Captain, I've got your report here for you.
Oh, excellent. I set my tools down and start going over it. So everything seems to be in order here. The crew running this tactical efficiency drills well.
Yes, absolutely. They passed with flying titles.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And I set the pad down. I go back to working on my project.
Okay. I leave the ready room.
Okay. Interesting. So, just for me at home, is there a goal to modifying this tricorder, or is it just literally just tinkering?
It's a little tinkering, a little bit of long-term maintenance.
Okay. All right. I would have you roll for it, but you already have 3 momentum, so I think you're at a good spot right now. Unless you want to risk it for a complication.
Oh, I'll risk it.
All right. Well, in that case, you are going to be rolling a
Nice.
control and engineering at a difficulty of 1. Overall,
Wait, if it would have been a phaser, he would have got my.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it was an old phaser, that would have been interesting. But no, control engineering difficulty of 1. You actually have a pretty good shot at this, looking at your sheet.
Let's see if I can generate some momentum.
Let me see. Ah, there it is. Well, you rolled control command, but I can look at this manually. Your control was an 11. Your engineering was a 2, so 13 or lower, so that it is 1 success. So yeah, you are successfully able to perform long-term maintenance on this old TOS tricorder.
I wrap it back up, put it gingerly back into its case, close it back up, and go back out onto the bridge to see what everyone else is up to.
All right. And we'll say, for sake of argument, at this point, Mitz, you have returned to your seat at the helm, and actually not a moment too soon, because anyone on the bridge who is looking out of the beautiful windows of the Prodigy or the Protostar class bridge, what you're seeing is that there is a surge in illumination coming from the nebula, and your sensors are, of course, scanning the nebula very intently, and there's a flash of light. And the sensors report that a brand new A-type white star has formed. However, there's some problems, because as you are like going, oh, look, new star, yay, we were here for it. That's a rare event. Nobody ever sees a star being formed. The surrounding nebula begins to crackle as if in a electrical ion storm kind of a thing. And I'm actually going to immediately spend 2 threat to say that in an attempt to dissipate this sudden surge of electrical activity, the nebula suddenly doesn't burst, but it definitely enlarges far faster than it should have any business doing. And unless you are very quick on your buttons here, there is a chance Wolf-Rayet will be sucked into the nebula.
Ooh. Ooh. Feels up.
Yeah, yellow alert.
I hear Ensign Reed would definitely be fast enough to push those buttons. Best button pusher this side of Andromeda.
So Mitz, how you at the helm? How you feeling?
Trust.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be a daring con. And difficulty of 2 here.
Difficulty of 2.
Tell you what, I'll even
I
spend a
think-
threat. Complication range 18 to 20.
Shoot. Okay.
I will point out you have bold con.
Yes. My
He wants
favorite.
treats.
Oh, yeah. I almost fell for that. I almost fell for that.
Yeah, but it lets you reroll. You want to give me treats, because then you can reroll if you need to.
Yes. That's true. That's true. Evil. The voices. I will, I'll give you a treat. So I can
Treat?
have my bold con. I say it's fair.
Yeah, difficulty of 2, complication range 18 to 20. Let's see what happens. You missed a die. You're missing 1 die.
That is my bad.
Okay, well,
That
you
is
can
also my bad.
you can re-roll one of those.
Preferably not the success.
And
That is
that's a
also my
complication.
bad.
That is a complication. All right, we see the dice want to tell a story today. So, Mitz, you're doing your damnedest to get the Wolf-Rayet out of dodge, but the electrically charged gases are expanding too fast, and the Wolf-Rayet is immediately enveloped. And the inertial dampeners do their best to compensate, but you all end up doing the Star Trek shimmy as you are bucked about the bridge in your seats. If you're standing, you're flung this way and that way. Few consoles blow out because of course they do. But after about 30 seconds of turbulence, the ship finally stabilizes and you are now at red alert with sparking ODN lines, bit of EPS ruptures, standard sort of, oh, something hit the ship, everything blew up.
God damn it, I just had those at maximum efficiency. Ugh.
Oh, wait, real
Yes,
quick. Mitz, you have backup plans. Which means technically you actually have 1 more momentum, so you're up to 4.
Woo!
Love that. Love that.
Anyways, carry on.
Well, as we're doing the Star Trek shimmy, I'm going to ask for a damage report.
So,
Let's see.
Meridian, do you want the good news or the bad news?
I'll take the bad news first.
Well, bad news is Protodrive is offline but still stable. Containment is still there. You have a bulkhead rupture on deck 3, subsection 5. One of the ensigns, it apparently was originally Ensign Reed, but then suddenly, miraculously, Ensign Reed is fine again. What's going on there? I don't know. But there were a few casualties. There are people reporting to main sickbay. And, your personal replicator has blown out. So have fun with that.
Well, definitely the most pressing is my personal replicator is busted, so I have to fix that. That's going to be great. But in other news, let's see. Protodrive's offline. Ensign Reed is fine again. I think they might have somehow been outside and inside the ship at the same time. That's a typical day for Ensign Reed. Don't worry about that. But yeah, there was a hull breach vaguely near Ensign Reed. But again, they're fine, so I'm going to send some engineering crews to fix that hull breach. But other than that, I think we're good. And you said some good news?
I did say some good news. The good news is that your shields, now that they are fully raised and fully powered, are keeping out the worst of the resulting electrical ion storm. And boy, is it a storm. And the best analog I can give is imagine like a monsoon or a typhoon or a hurricane, if you've ever experienced one of those, where there's a lot of wind, a lot of rain, except instead of wind and rain, you have, I guess, solar wind, and you have just continually rocking of the ship as discharges of electricity flash and illuminate parts of the nebula.
Well, good news, Captain. Shields are holding. If we want to be extra special about things, we could probably figure out a method of polarizing the hull plating as a secondary level of protection to dissuade any of the electrical discharges from attempting to hit us, most likely.
I'd rather not be a lightning rod out here right now.
Yeah, we are made of a lot of metal.
What's the status of the engines? Can we get ourselves out of this?
I mean, yeah, regular engines are fine. Regular warp is fine.
Well,
Protodrive
there
is
were
stable and
before I
offline.
spent thread, and oh, look at that, main impulse is offline.
And main impulse just went offline. I'll be in engineering.
Let me know when you got it back up and running.
She slithers down to engineering.
On the bright side, we still have thrusters.
That's true. We do
We can
still
always
have
go out and push.
thrusters. We probably could.
I could go out and push.
Keshin, it's funny you say that because as you are obviously sitting at tactical and contemplating getting out and pushing, your tactical sensors indicate that there might be another ship out there. But it's not a concrete reading. It's like one of those faint readings or like ghost reading where one moment there's something resembling a ship and then you scan that area of space and there's no longer that signal, and then it's somewhere else, and then it disappears, and it repeats this chain of just there's a signal, there's not, there's a signal, there's not.
Got it. Concentrate sensors in that area.
Sure. If you want to give me a reason security, and the Wolf-Rayet can assist you with a sensor security. This is, due to the effects of the nebula, a difficulty of 4.
Oh.
However, I do have good news, and that is that the Wolf-Rayet does indeed have advanced sensor suites. So the assistance from the ship is actually rolling 2d20.
I'm going to use my determination
Okay.
and cap the value of the security of the ship and crew are my priority.
Okay. Oh, that reminds me, Meridian, you need to roll for veteran.
Oh, yeah, I do need to roll for veteran. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm thinking of rolling things, do I need to check to see if reserve power got messed up?
No, I am a magnanimous GM, and I have not taken away your reserve power. But unfortunately,
Yay.
you do not get your veteran back.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a focus that applies here.
Well, let me look.
Worst case, sniff a mission directive.
Could use a mission directive.
And where do I find those again?
On the ship.
You open the ship.
On the ship.
It's where the values would be,
Oh,
except
yeah.
it's a ship.
Recon and report any and all threats to the continuation of Starfleet operations in Andromeda.
Okay.
Recon and report.
Yeah, that'll apply. But yeah, it's reason security for you, difficulty of 4, and whoever's getting the ship, it is sensor security for the Wolf-Rayet, and it's rolling 2d20.
All right. I think I'm going to use at least one more dice. So 1 momentum for an extra, or 2 momentum, for the extra dice.
It would be 3 momentum if you wanted to roll 4. Because it's 1 momentum or 1 threat for the first die, and then the second die is 2 threat or 2 momentum, so a total of 3.
Right. With 3 then, 4 dice. Use determination value. Boom.
Okay, well, that's 3 successes. You got that, and then if somebody could get the ship real quick.
Sure, I can do the ship. What's it doing again?
Sensor security.
Sensors, security, perform task, always has a focus, and we do 2 dice because event
sensors.
sensor suites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And boom.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
grand total of 4 successes, which is enough to pass, but there is a complication. So, Keshin, as you're looking at the sensor scans, you start to think tactically minded, like if I were somebody trying to come ambush me, where would I be in this nebula right now? And you manage to start to anticipate where this other ship will be located, and you get a perfect scan of the vessel. Now, this vessel does not resemble any on record. It is essentially what appears to be a lizard's tail, or like half a snake. where it actually almost looks like a planet killer, but not as big and obviously not as made as neutronium. But it is kind of that weird conical shape, if that makes any sense. But it does have a notable front, which instead of it having, I'm just imagining the planet killer in my mind right now. So instead of the planet killer mouth, there is a open, well, not open, but similar to how the protostar has an open bridge to the stars, it has an open bridge to the stars instead of a planet killer mouth. And then what you're noticing is that because you got the scan, that they, aliens, whoever they might be, they experience the same problem that you had when the nebula expanded. Their main power is offline. They have some casualties. Some life forms are in flux. But as soon as you get the scan, the alien ship tumbles away uncontrollably and is lost into the ether. So it's somewhere out there. You just have to find it again.
Okay. Captain, I've got a ship on sensors, and it's experiencing many difficulties.
Let's see if we can hail them.
Open communications.
Okay. I am actually going to have you do a roll for this one. It's not something that I usually have happen, but the nebula is affecting the difficulty here, so it is worth doing. So this is going to be a... Let me consult my notes. This is going to be a control and a con, and the ship will assist you with a communications and con.
And what's the difficulty?
The difficulty, because of the nebula, it is a 2.
I don't think it's worth going for a what if blah 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 asked to try and get it down to 1, unless you guys think I should make an attempt at that, because I have a theoretical idea.
Let's hear your theory.
All right. So, hey ELH, you know how I gave you that massive lore dump on that satellite that Meridian built that we technically deployed in the first episode?
I'm aware.
Yeah, so we would then have a beefed up transmitter on our ship. Is there any chance that that might be either have already or can reduce the difficulty slightly?
It'll nullify the complication range I was going to impose.
Okay.
So your complication range was going to be a 17 to 20, but now with that, it's just a 20.
All right, go for it, guys. You got this. Oh, wait, you already...
Well, so Mitz would be better with the con roll.
I'm sure Mitz can do it.
I'm sure
Yes,
she can.
what would it be again?
A controlling con.
Control con.
And the difficulty on this is a 2.
And ship would still be assisting with communications con?
Correct.
I already have the ship up, so may as well.
Well, that's already 3 from Mitz. Well done there.
All right, and the complication range is nullified, so it's just normal.
And you get another momentum. Well done. So, Mitz, you are able to open up a hail to the vessel, and they do answer. Or at least an automated system does. Because you get an image back. It's kind of garbled, kind of static, but you're seeing flames, you're seeing sparks, you're seeing gases hissing out of pipes. But you're also seeing the limp forms of what looked to be like an axolotl mixed with a... Let me consult my notes. It's an axolotl mixed with a betta fish, where it nominally looks more like an axolotl, but it also has like the plumage of a betta fish.
Do they look like they're in a liquid environment, or are they in air environment?
They are in a liquid environment, and to make matters worse, as I spend threat, they are leaking that environment into the nebula.
So they have a hull breach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to help them out. Meridian, how's it coming with those engines? Can we move yet?
All right, well, let's see. I think I will be able to try something here in about just a moment. I would like to roll to see if I can get Impulse back online.
Okay. So, in order to fix the problem, this is going to be a control and engineering on your part.
Okay.
The difficulty will be a 2. And yeah, I think that's just it. I think it's just you rolling difficulty of 2.
All right. Focus of emergency repairs.
Would apply.
And you said it's a difficulty of 2?
Yep.
What if we just jury rig?
Let me read. All right. So whenever you attempt an engineering task before repair, you may reduce it to a 2 to a minimum of 0. If you do this, the repairs are temporary and only last a single scene. Okay. And you can increase that duration by spending 1 momentum repeatable. Okay. All right. Yeah, if you want to jury rig it, it's still a roll, but you're basically getting free momentum with every success.
Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I haven't gotten a chance to use it, and it seems like the perfect time. All right, so focus, just a pure roll.
All right, well, you get 2
successes.
momentum. And
Beautiful.
what I'll do is I'll make a note that whenever we change scenes, I'm going to ask if you want to spend the momentum to keep your impulse engines.
Okay, sounds good.
But for now, you restore the impulse engines and you can fly again.
All right, Captain, I just got them working barely. I'm not sure how long they'll keep working for, but I got them on.
Awesome. Mr. Keshin, you said they were leaking atmosphere, correct?
Yes.
And it's liquid, correct?
Yes, sir.
You think you could track that liquid with the sensors? There's probably not a lot of it out there compared to this other gases we're dealing with.
I don't know, sir. Science is not my thing.
Because I find it funny. The ESO materializes and says, "Please state nature of science emergency. I heard that perhaps there is issue."
I was so hoping he would show up.
It's so good.
Yes, we need to adapt the sensors to track the liquid environment that's being pumped out by a ship in distress. You think you can help with that?
Oh, very well. I can do that quite easily. You see, you just vary the osmotic principle of the manifold, and you do what we do in old shipyard, where you take the sensor scan, you run it through a compositor, and he just keeps talking.
Yes, it's all very nice. Can you actually go ahead and do that, please?
Oh, he's actually at a console still typing away as he's talking, but he just goes on and on and on and on. But if you want him to shut up, somebody has to pull up his sheet. Which, did I finally give him a sheet? No, I didn't give him a sheet. Because I'm lazy, apparently. Let's give him a sheet now. ESO. Why does he not have a sheet? Where did he... No, I specifically remember making this sheet.
No, he was... he had one.
Where did his sheet
have
go?
one. It must have been replaced by one of the new recording casts there that we were doing last week. They probably used it.
Maybe that's what happened. Yeah. Well, what I will tell you is that the ESO is rolling underneath a 14 with a focus. So if anybody wants to manually roll, this is going to be under 14 for his dice, and the overall difficulty would be a 3, including an assist from Sensor Science from the Wolf-Rayet.
Well, I ordered it, so I'll go ahead and do the roll for it.
Okay.
All right, so my control's an 11, my con's a 3, so that'd make it a 14.
Yeah, we can do it that way. Simple enough.
Okay. And I'm guessing as a support character, he doesn't currently have a focus?
He actually does have a focus. Because I gave him the sensor operation focus because science officer.
And what was the difficulty?
Difficulty of 3, lowered to a 2.
Okay. I'd like to spend 1 momentum and get me 3 dice here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the 2 you need, and then let's see the assist from the ship.
Assisting.
Oh,
One
wow.
more die from the ship because it's advanced sensor suites.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, right. And one more with focus. Boop.
Okay, well, at least it's not a 20.
Woo!
So, you end up getting that momentum right back, and yeah, the ESO reports, well, I have good news. I am able to track them. They are over there. And part of the window actually illuminates and sort of does some cool technical effect where it sort of pulls away the bits of nebula between you and this other ship, and you see the outline of the ship as it's tumbling through the nebula.
Oh.
All right, Lieutenant Mitz, let's get over there. Commander Keshin, let's prepare with a tractor beam so we can stabilize them and see what we can do to help repairs.
I'll have you do, sir.
All right.
Just need to be in range.
So, since they changed how this works in 2nd edition, let me just refresh
course they
myself
did.
here. All right, here we
Also-
go. So, they changed it because it used to be that you would roll control and con at a difficulty of 0, and then you would move, etc., etc. Now, MITS could just do it. It is a minor action to do it, and you can move 2 zones. Now, we haven't really talked about zones yet in this group, but basically imagine that there's concentric rings that extend outwards from the ship, and every one of those rings is another zone.
Oh.
So, for example, if you want to move from where you currently are to where this other ship is, that would be 2 zones. So you can just do that. However, the problem is... how to say this? The problem is that because the nebula is electrically discharging and is running with jury-rigged engines, you have to give me 1 momentum for every zone you travel through.
Oh, yeah. We can do that.
We have a good amount.
Yeah, I think we're 1 shy of max.
So go down to 3
Also,
for me there.
did we fix the
Yep.
hull breach?
Ensign Reed's on it.
Ensign Reed's got it.
Mhm.
Ensign Reed's that works.
Yeah, he's
No,
got
he's
it.
literally on it. He's blocking it with his body.
Yeah, he's actually on the hull breach, just doing his thing.
He'll be fine, I'm sure. But yeah, now that you are in range, Mitz, you of course tactfully dip and bob and weave the ship around the giant electrical impulses through the nebula. You get in range to tractor beam the alien ship. Keshin, this is a control security. The ship will assist you with a structure security. It is a difficulty of 2 originally. Because of the unique parts of the nebula, it is now a difficulty of 3.
Okay. I do have a focus with shipboard tactical systems. I
Would
believe
apply.
the factor applies. So, yes. You said a difficulty of 3, you said.
Correct.
I'll use 1 momentum to get an extra dice,
Okay.
if that's okay with everybody.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay, so that's already
Oh,
4
wow.
successes from you, and then again, it's structure security for the Wolf-Rayet. Somebody got the ship?
Yeah,
I guess
what's the
I'll-
roll?
I think it was structure security.
Yep, structure security.
Structure. Okay. This has a focus.
There you go. So that is 6 total successes, meaning you get 3 momentum back, bringing you up to 5. Well done. So, not only are you able to snag this alien vessel in a tractor beam, but you're able to stabilize it to keep it from continuing to tumble end over end. And you do so in a way that does not violently shake the aliens inside. So well done there.
Right. And maybe we can use the tractor beam to seal the breach temporarily.
If you spend 2 momentum, we can make that a thing.
I will do that. Actually, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
So I'm not going to actually add the trait, but just keep in mind that you have temporarily sealed their hull breach as kind of a thing. But it is at this point, because the comm channel's been open the entire time, that one of these plumaged axolotl creatures swims up into the view, and it starts talking. But when I say talking, it's kind of like, I don't know if any of you have ever really heard like a Canadian goose who it's really, really mad. But if you've never had the pleasure of dealing with a cobra chicken before, it's a lot of honking, it's a lot of hissing. It actually sounds very, very mean. So you're not sure if they're in distress, angry at you, some combination of both.
Tapping the universal translator. Come on.
Yeah, the universal translator's like, I don't know what this is.
Well, I guess I'm going to see if they can understand me. Say, this is Captain Cannon of the Wolf-Rayet. Are you in need of assistance? Your ship seems to be damaged.
And I think this is going to be a roll. Cannon, this is going to be a presence command. The Wolf-Rayet will assist you with a communications command. Difficulty of 3.
Can I use linguistics as a focus?
You may certainly use that as a focus. Looks like you already have one success from the Wolf-Rayet, so I need to see 2 more here.
Use 1 momentum to get me up to 3 dice.
Okay.
Yep.
And cross your fingers, hope for the best.
Okay.
Oh.
So you get the 3 successes. I see that evil Q power. I see it. It'll be there in a moment. Hold on, Gray Matter. I see you. But no, your message comes through, and either, Keshin performing percussive maintenance on the Universal Translator, or maybe their Universal Translator kicks in, but you finally hear the alien, and I'd like you to imagine, it's weird, it was Cobra Chicken hissing and honking. Now it's kind of like a chipmunk chittering, where it's very, very rapid and very hard to follow. But for the sake of viewers and you all, I'm not going to do the hyperactive speed, so just imagine it. But the creature says, "Oh, well, thank you for saving us. We were leaking atmosphere when the nebula expanded on us. We were just here to observe the nebula. It was very nice. It was just sort of something we were interested in seeing, and then all of a sudden everything went topsy-turvy."
Are you able to navigate out of the nebula, or do you need assistance?
We would definitely need assistance. Our main engines are offline. We are lacking any form of inertial control. We don't even have thruster power.
Are you able to seal your hull breach? We're currently sealing it with our tractor beam to keep you in one piece.
And the alien kind of turns its head to look down the passageway behind it. I think I might actually be the only one that's conscious right now. I've got 4 other people with me that are various kinds of injured. I know we've only just met, but can you help in any way?
Well, we breathe air, and I see you're in a water atmosphere. I could send a member of my medical staff over there, but they'd have to work in EVA suits to work in your environment.
Well, we can maybe kill 2 birds with 1 stone, if that's an expression that you have. We can have your medical officer come through the hull breach, and then when they leave, they can fix it on the way out.
We actually have a matter transportation system. We could send them over there a bit safer.
Oh, well, not to be rude, but we have one of those too, but we don't think it's safe to use it in this nebula, especially now that it's doing this and it just motions around.
ESO opinion?
Point.
Well, if Cute Alien is correct, I believe that it does have a good point that transporting would be risky. Possible, but risky.
How dangerous would be a short EVA jump over there?
Well, I suppose that depends who does the EVA. I mean, if you follow the line down the tractor beam, it should be pretty good. I mean, you're going to need to have somebody modulate the the tractor beam to provide a little bit of repulsion and containment, and then whoever's in the EV suit has to modify thruster bursts here and there, and obviously once they're over there, they have to, perform medical stuff. So, congratulations, Lieutenant Mitz. I think you're our person.
Hey, me?
Well, yes, you are uniquely qualified for this mission.
She's got medical experience?
Well, she's Tel'Shiar. Of course she does.
Okay.
I don't think you fully... Oh, alright, I'll do it.
Now, I should just make it very clear that the ESO has a rank of lieutenant. Just regular lieutenant. So this is a lieutenant telling another lieutenant maybe you should be the one to do this. Literally anyone else on the bridge can tell the ESO to shove it.
And we're all being real quiet right now.
Okay.
I'm still in engineering, and
I see how it is.
I'm stunned by the recommendation. That's all.
I'm just stuck on... No, so you go.
Just as Mitz goes to get up, I'm like, I think we should probably send the doctor. He seems much more qualified to help in a medical capacity.
Let me actually look at Warg's sheet right now. Oh, we don't have stats for Warg, which... Okay, something happened over the last week and a half, because I put in stats for every single one of these supporting characters.
I
Hit save?
I know
none
the
of it
Spider
saved.
is good.
No, none of it saves. They're all at 7.
Spider has stats.
Okay, so why did it say... Alright, I'm going to have to investigate that later. But if I remember Warg's sheet correctly, he had a 10 in control and a 4 in medicine. So we can at least establish that much.
Yeah.
And then
Makes sense.
Fixing his sheet on the fly. What did he have?
I'm gonna posit a very, very fun visual image for everybody.
Sure.
What does Captain Meridian's EVA suit look like?
I mean, technically your snake bit could stay in space.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because I picked the durable trait because, durable snake.
Right.
So just like everything else, upper half of a suit. I love it.
See, I was picturing one of those like ventilation ducts that's just all silver.
Also valid. Also valid.
That's pretty funny. I
All right,
that's a fun visual.
I think I have fixed Warg's sheet. I think he's still off on a few points on his attribute, but I know his control and his daring were 10 and 8, so I know that's right. So take a look at his sheet. See if you do want to send him over, because while he may have the medicine, he definitely doesn't have the con that Mitz has.
You think we should do a full away team for this?
We can send
more than one person.
If we're going 0G wise, we can send our security officer, Lieutenant Serenity, the Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have like a 3 in con.
Okay, so that would be...
make the doctor hold on for dear life to the Spider Girl as the Spider navigates.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. I'm trying to remember, what voice did we? Oh, we made Lyra was the Southern Belle. I remember now.
Yeah.
I remember. Of course, I remember Lyra's voice. She's the Southern Belle and says "bless your heart" when she means to tell you to fuck off.
Exactly.
All right. So, because these are 2 supporting characters, I'm actually going to let y'all run them. I'll voice Lyra if need be, but you don't have to do the voice for her if you don't want to do the voice.
I'll play Lyra, and I think that the general joke was I am terrible at Southern accents, so that's why I picked it, because when I do it, it's going to be just as funny. And, so I think I got this.
All right, and then does anybody want to play Warg, or should I just keep him an NPC?
Let's keep an NPC for right now.
Let's keep him NPC, yeah.
Okay, all right. So to paint the picture, Lyra and Warg get suited up, and they get into the Jeffrey's tubes and get to where the tractor beam lances out from the bottom of the ship. They open up one of the airlocks that leads outside. And now comes the tricky part, where I'm going to need a fitness and con from Lyra.
Okay.
And Keshin, if you are assisting by modulating the tractor beam, it is a daring security. The difficulty on this is a 3 before the nebula modifies it to be a 4.
Okay.
And because I have chat complication, the complication range is 18 to 20.
18 to 20. Love it. So,
Actually, now that I look at Lyra, Lyra's missing her focuses and her talents because she had those. Something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, I don't know anything about focuses and talents for her.
I went through and gave her some, and so something
okay.
happened between when we played last and now.
All right. Would she have had a focus?
Yes, she would have EVA as a focus.
That makes sense. Spider legs. Literally so many spider legs. All right.
Chad is right. You do actually have 3 momentum, not 2.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. How much momentum and everything do you guys think we should spend on this?
Oh, it's a 3 success? The 3,
4.
No,
it's 3, but 4, it's a 4, right? So should we just go all out and do 5 dice? So it's fitness
you're
plus
getting
con.
You're getting an assist from me.
Yeah.
So that's 1 dice right there.
Okay. So should we go? So we should go up to 4. Okay.
Actually, don't you have a? What's Lyra?
It's Lyra.
We don't know if she has a bold.
If I remember correctly, she had a cautious, not a bold, which means momentum is how you get the reroll.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. Yeah, so with 3 momentum, that gives you 2 extra dice.
Yes.
So you'd be rolling 4 for Lyra, and I'd be rolling 1.
Okay, that makes sense. And then we're using a focus.
A reasonable chance of success.
Sounds good. So Lyra turns to the doctor and goes, "All right now, dear, you hold on tight now. You hear?"
I suppose this is a terrible time to tell you that I have a thing about spiders as well.
Oh, don't worry. I don't bite.
Oh, it's not the bite that I'm worried about.
Oh, well, dear, you don't have to worry about getting stuck in any webs up here, you hear?
It's not the webs either. It's the eyes.
Goodness.
I can't stand that many eyes.
Well, I think you need to see a therapist about that, dear. I
am the therapist. No, actually, wait, we have a Vulcan for that. I'm not the therapist. I will see him when I get back.
Yes. Yep. All right now. Well, here we go.
Hey, there's 4. Okay. Hey, 5. You get your momentum right back. Very nice. So you are at 1 momentum by my count because you spent 3 to get to 4. Which actually, technically, you could re-roll that 16 because she does have cautious con.
Do we want to?
No.
Nah, we're good.
Okay. All right. In that case, what this looks like is, again, Lyra and Warg sort of fly out from the Jeffrey's tube. The tractor beam modulates and creates a corridor through the nebula so that you sort of just drift down towards this conical-shaped alien vessel, and you enter in through the currently patched hole in their hull, and you enter into the liquid environment. Now, the consistency of the liquid is somewhere between Jell-O and a bit of turkey that's been left out a bit too long, if you get my meaning. So you're probably really going to want to burn those EV suits when you get back, but you're an EV suit, so none of it's getting inside, so you got that going for you.
There we go. Fun fact, everybody. I've spent more than 50% of my life in the South, so technically I am Southern, but I cannot do a Southern belle. And that is what's funny about it.
Yeah. But now that he doesn't have to cling to Lyra, immediately starts going to the axolotl creatures and Says, all right, I'm going to have to triage this one. This one has plasma burns, and this one over here seems to have lost a bit of its tentacle face things. I don't know what they are, but I think I can reattach it. Lyra, go do whatever it is you do. I think I've got this.
I'm a security officer, so I'll make sure everybody's feels all nice and secure.
Okay, I'm going to maybe reset. You know what? I don't care. Just go.
She spiders on about, skitters on over.
All right.
Do
So,
various spider things.
Lyra runs into the one conscious alien. Like, quite literally, you turn down a corridor, and you bump into one another. And what you realize is that these creatures vary in size. Where the ones that the medical officer is treating, standard human size. The one that you bumped into, very large, very big axolotl creature. And it is, I would say, probably twice the size of Lyra.
Ow.
Oh my, you got some impressive stature there. You must be getting whatever serves for milk in your parts. A lot of that, I bet.
And it starts honking and hissing before the universal translator catches him and goes, I don't know what you are, but you terrify me.
Oh, calm down now. I won't hurt a fly unless it attacks first.
You still terrify me.
That's fair. Do you want me to politely sit in the corner?
Are you capable of sitting?
Well, I can't cross my legs crisscross applesauce style, but I can crouch down, closest thing to a normal sitting position. Of course, I might float around a bit, but I'll try my best.
There's a saying among my people that which floats downhill.
Which way's the hill? We're in space.
It's a metaphor. I don't think it means that. You know what? We're getting into cultural isms that maybe aren't appropriate. Can you help me at least get some kind of power back to our engine? Just anything at all.
I can certainly try my best. They say I'm a spider of many trades, so I'll certainly give it a best shot.
Wait, you're a spider?
Yes.
Well, you look
Half
nothing
spider,
like the
half
spiders on
humanoid.
our world.
Not even the lower half?
No, our spiders are cute and cuddly, and he makes a motion with his hands as if to mime what a creature looks like. And I guess because his hands are webbed, because underwater environment, it actually kind of looks like he's got like a cup. So he's forming like a cup with his hands, and then he's taking the two thumbs and putting them in towards the center of the cup. And then he's wiggling his fingers around as if to resemble tentacles or tendrils. You're not really sure.
Well, those are quite fascinating. I'd love to meet your spiders someday.
Yes, they are quite tasty.
Wouldn't recommend eating myself, but...
Oh no,
I am
you
quite a
terrify
good
me.
cook.
Whatever the heck you are, you terrify me.
I'm a good cook, so I assure you I can cook your spiders real nice. Anyway, I'll go get to getting your engines up and running. You hear?
Okay, I'm just going to go back to the bridge before I start screaming in mortal terror.
This is why she's the science officer. She's the nicest person ever, but she terrifies everyone in line.
Mm-hmm. So we do
All
need
right.
to make a few rolls here. The first
Yes.
one is with Warg. Warg has to run triage. And that is going to be a daring and medicine on his part. And he does have a focus here. It is a difficulty of 3 because he doesn't have the quick study talent, but he does have a focus at least going for him. So if someone would care to roll for Mr. Warg. In fact, I think I actually can... I'm doing his sheet by memory because, again, I really want to know why none of this saved. So I'm gonna check this game religiously when I boot it back up. But no, he definitely has xenobiology as a focus. I know he had that.
We're gonna find out the Savin decided to abduct our crew and replace them with synth or something.
Apparently. Anyways, yeah, someone wants to grab worksheet, daring and medicine, difficulty of 3.
I'll do it.
Okay.
And he's got to focus. And do we have any momentum?
You had one a moment ago.
I'll go ahead and spend it.
Okay. Okay. 2 successes, which means he can succeed with a complication.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. So, Ward does his best, but he eventually starts shouting, "Oh, well, this is unfortunate. I don't think I'm going to be able to reattach the tendril. I hope it's not a cultural thing if they don't have all their tendrils, because if they do, that could be a bit of an issue." And then, because I have to name this alien something, his name's not actually Steve, but I'm going to call him Steve for the sake of convenience. Steve, who was fleeing in mortal terror from Lyra, Steve comes over and goes, "Oh no, their blah 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 blah, blah honk is damaged. Oh no, this is a grave affair indeed." "What do you mean it's a grave affair?" "I mean that they will be unable to navigate the aquatic environment without the electromagnetic sensing abilities of their tendrils." "Okay, I understood most of that. You're saying that they use some kind of EM field to navigate." Yes, that's correct." "Okay." Taps his comm badge. "Warg to the Snake. Snake, are you there?"
Snake! I had a Metal Gear joke. Oh, wait, is he literally...
Yeah, he's
is he
literally
saying-
calling Meridian, yes.
He's calling Meridian by the snake.
Yes.
You just hear a sigh. Here.
You wouldn't happen to have an EM prosthetic in your laboratory, would you?
I think I might. You see, I was doing some research on this.
I don't care why you have it. I
creature
just need it to
called
fix
a
an alien.
shark.
No. Too much detail. Just beam it over, send it to the tractor beam. I don't care. I need to fix an alien.
Sure. I'll just we'll tractor beam it or something, and if that doesn't work, I'll send another. I got like 7 of them.
All right, well, hurry up, because this alien here, who's making a lot of honking noise, is getting very distressed. I think this is kind of a big deal for his species.
All right. Yeah, I'll get one sent over here shortly. So what Meridian sends over is it's like it's sort of a slightly curved X shape, almost bandage kind of thing. Definitely waterproof because, again, she was researching sharks. And as everybody knows, sharks sort of have the electromagnetic sensor fields as well. So she's just going to slither on over and then just throw one down the tractor beam.
Okay.
And shouts catch, knowing no one can hear her, but she still shouts it anyway.
Fair. So I'm trying to figure out how to adjudicate this. Give me a Meridian. Give me a daring security. No, it's a control security because it's a ranged attack technically. So it's a control security.
Okay.
And then Keshin, if
That
you're still
works.
doing the modulating of the tractor beam, you're assisting with a daring security. And difficulty of 3 on this one.
All right. Can I interest you in a very silly focus for this?
What you got?
Flight control systems.
Sure, why not? Sure.
Okay, you said difficulty of 3?
Difficulty of 3. You have no momentum, and I have 2 threat.
I'll just, you know what? I got like 7 of these things. I'll just roll it.
Okay, well, hey, there you go. With Keshin helping you out, you get 3. So you throw the prosthetic down the tractor beam. It goes tumbling through space into the broken bulkhead of the alien vessel. Warg is there to catch it. He begins suturing it and connecting it to the alien, has a conversation. But as this all happens, Lyra, you are able to find their engine room, such as it is, and it is... You know the expression "a bull in a china shop" and how Mythbusters actually tested that, and the bull would kind of leave the china alone for the most part?
Exactly. Yes.
This is more like somebody has taken the china shop, put it into a cargo container, like the kind you would put on a ship, and then thrown that cargo container into a blender, and then taken that blender, thrown it into a tornado, and then taken that tornado, thrown it into space and around a black hole a few times, and then at the other end, you undo all of that to reveal what's inside, and it's not great.
Oh dear me, it seems there's not an engineering section left. Oh my.
But to make it even more fun, I am actually going to say that there is now going to be another scene trait with the 2 threat that I have, in that the electromagnetic storm is intensifying outside in the nebula, where the tractor beam is beginning to be disrupted.
Compensating.
Mm-hmm. Now, Keshin, in order to compensate, you either have to give me reserve power or you must attempt a difficulty 4 roll, whichever you prefer. Because I will tell you, this is another daring security, and the Wolf-Rayet does assist you with a structure security. But it is a difficulty of 4, or you just spend reserve power and no roll required.
Let's spend reserve power.
Okay.
Meridian, remember to roll the dice there.
Yep. We still have that on this, right? That didn't get spoofed around somewhere weird.
So the improved warp drive technically means when you take the warp major action.
Yeah, it's only for warp. It looks like.
Okay.
No, there's a different talent. I think it's secondary reactors in 2nd edition that then lets you get it back that way.
I mean, we got dual warp cores. I don't know what that does.
It would help you there. Fair point.
Well, that contains the protostar.
That's gravimetric protostar containment as well. That's technically separate. But also technically you're correct. We really should, next time we're at dock, get that thing that makes it so our regaining reserve power is decreased by 1 to offset our increase by 1, because it is a difficulty 3 to regain reserve power currently.
Yeah, gotta love the proto drive they introduced in the technical manual. Gotta love it.
Yep.
So, narratively, what this looks like is Mitz, you are fighting with the helm to not rip the Wolf-Rayet away from this alien vessel. Keshin, you are frantically doing what you can to strengthen the tractor beam and keep it from literally tearing a larger hole in the alien vessel. Lyra, you are being flung about the remains of the engineering department, so that's fun. And then Warg is like, why can't anyone keep a steady vessel? This is not hard. And it is at this point that I have to count how many scene traits are in play here. Let me count on my notes here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have enough scene traits to do this.
Oh no.
Where at this point, transporting, impossible. You cannot transport. And to make matters worse, in order to get from ship to ship at this point through this turbulence, it's a difficulty of 5, and that includes sending supplies over the tractor beam.
Well, I am full of very weird and dumb ideas.
Well, I mean, those are usually the best.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Can we dock with them?
You could certainly try.
Well, we do sort of have that. It's a holographic projecting docking bridge that we have. So I'm sure we can make that work. Failing that, we can try and land on them and just have the spider climb, I guess.
Wow. I'm assuming they've already reported back that their engine room looks like confetti right now.
Yes.
What if we just evacuate them to our ship? If we can dock with them, we can use force fields to pump their atmosphere into an area that we can keep secure.
Actually, if we envelop them within a shield, then that would keep the nebula outside, and we could use transporters.
Another good idea.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, let's
The
see if we can
only
get them
thing
enveloped in
I'm
the shields
gonna the only thing I'm gonna say about the shield plan is that you would need reserve power to do it. But it is possible. You just need reserve power to attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
Should we attempt to recover reserve power then?
I think it would be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right,
Alright.
what's the reserve power roll thing again? Actually, hang on, it should be under proto drive. It should tell me there, I think.
It is a control engineering, and because of the prototype, it is a difficulty of 3.
So I guess I'll try it since that's really freaking good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You don't want to roll 20s
And-
on this one.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm trying to think what would be the best to assist. Would that, if the ship does it, would that be like an engine something?
Well, the ship doesn't actually assist you on this one.
Rick, okay. Is
If
it
none of
possible
us
for anyone?
exists.
I mean, anybody else can assist you. They just have to justify how.
That's it. Trying to think of how.
Well, this is an engineering roll, which means I can use bold engineering.
Well, somebody has given me a treat. I'm going to turn that treat into threat. Thank
That's
you for
fair.
treat.
Okay, so it's gonna be control engineering.
I'm going to take power from the phasers, actually the photon torpedoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to turn them offline
Okay.
and redirect some power towards to boost. It's a bit like
like
a
it.
fire starter.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
good
assist with
stuff.
a daring security on your part, and you just got a momentum from chat.
Good stuff. All right, if
Thank
ever
you.
there was a time for the focused power systems, I claim it to be now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I'll use shipboard tactical systems since I'm
Would
taking
apply.
power away from tactical systems.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay. And I will give you one treat,
Treat.
so I can have my build engineering.
Okay.
Yes.
So that gets me up to 3, and then you're still rolling 1 die.
I'm
for the
rolling one die. Yes.
assist. And it's a difficulty
3.
So with 4 dice, I think that's good.
Statistically,
Yeah.
it's in our favor.
Statistically in our favor, and if we're close, I can re-roll something.
Okay, well, I have bad news. That 20 cannot be re-rolled because it's Keshin's dice.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you
Yes,
can
I'm-
re-roll your 19 to make it 3 successes if you so wish, or you can succeed with 2 complications.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
re-roll.
roll it. I'm gonna re-roll it first, and then see what we think from there.
Okay.
Okay,
dice.
let's re-roll 1 dice. Complication range is still 20, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so you do get your 3 successes, so there's only the 1 complication. So, good news, you get your reserve power back because Keshin helps redirect some of the flow, but Keshin unfortunately pulls a little too much power, and oop, there goes the entire tactical array, which means there goes the tractor beam.
That's it.
Now, I'd like you to imagine Warg doing his best to perform subaquatic, surgery on an alien species he's never encountered before. He's having the time of his life. And then all of a sudden, the ocean inside the vessel starts getting sucked out again. He's like holding onto the deck plate and in his arms, he's got like 2 of these creatures. And he's like, whoever got rid of that tractor beam is going to need counseling after I'm done with them.
Pulls out
Alright,
his
so we
Type
gotta-
1 phaser to make my day.
But yes,
Now that we have
Okay.
reserve power back,
you do
We
have reserve
do.
power back.
and we try to envelop the shields around them so maybe we can beam them off.
Well, that's the problem. The entire tactical system went offline.
So shields.
Yep, shields are gone now too, which means now I get to do something I haven't been able to do in any of my 2E games. I get to roll a breach. Fun.
Shields. Okay,
Ooh.
shields to 0. And I hate this for extra reasons because those are temporal.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure
It'll
it's
be fine.
I'm sure it's fine. 16. Let me consult my chart.
Oh.
Oh joy! You know what a 16 is? A 16's is your engines.
Sensors.
God
Oh,
damn it!
okay.
I just
I-
fixed
oh, man.
those.
I
This
do
is a
hate to
cascade of
interrupt there.
failure.
I do have to interrupt there. Keshin, you might want to check your precautions.
Yes, I was actually
panel.
Oh
thinking
yeah.
about that. Yep.
Let's put that in chat.
I was just as soon as you mentioned it, it was like, hey, I have precautions. So the subsurface prevents the injury breach. Yeah, so I'm going to reinforce the structural integrity field
Okay.
around the engines.
In that case, no breach to the engine occurs.
Yes.
But it was a very close thing. Had you not been ready to reroute that structural integrity, you would have lost impulse engines and potentially Gravistar containment at the same time.
Ouch.
Which is a great way to go supernova.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
So we can't transfer them out because we don't have shields to block out the nebula. They're leaking atmosphere. Meridian, you said we had a holographic docking clamp, correct?
Well, I guess
yes.
we could get Meridian to start working on the tactical systems.
I also have another vague question.
I have a vague answer.
What is the size comparison of, say, if we open the front cargo bay, what is the comparison size-wise of that geometry plus the hole on the ship? Can we just, politely park the ships very close together and, hug the hole?
Mitz would
is
have
that
to do
geometry
some
gonna
good
work?
flying. It is possible. Mitz would just have to do some good flying.
At the very least, we can start something close to that without the approach. Try and just catch as much of their goop that's flowing out as possible. I try and get something else running.
Well, I was thinking, what if we use that holographic docking to clamp onto the leaking section of hull and just use that as a makeshift door for them?
Yeah, we can try and modulate it and configure it a bit so that it clicks on at the proper range. We should be able to configure that. Beep, bop, boop,
I mean, it's a hologram. We can make it look whatever we need to.
It is indeed a
Make it fit.
holographic bridge. Yeah, it's a holographic connector bridge. It's pretty cool. This ship is definitely the most advanced in the fleet right now. What do we have to roll for holographic docking bridge? That's not in the manual.
Yeah, that's not exactly in the manual. Let's say
It really was not built for the Protostar to exist.
Let's
Don't worry,
say-
guys. Next week we'll have rules for it.
let's treat this like you're landing the ship, but not really. So we're going to be modifying the roll. So this is still going to be a control con. The ship is still going to assist with a structure con. It says that the difficulty is supposed to start at a 3, but you're docking, so I'm going to knock it down to a 1. But then I have to factor in the multiple traits of the nebula I have in play here. So 1, 2. So this will be a difficulty of 4.
Well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, go for it, Mitz.
Yeah, and Mitz, you would be rolling a daring, and no, I think it would still be a control con here.
No hope in the ship.
Yeah, which means Mitz, you got to get us 4 successes here.
I believe in Mitz.
Yes.
She's really good at flying.
Put the lives of an entire cruise
In
got
a
a determination.
Romulan Tal'Dar agent's hand.
Put it on my shoulders.
I mean, have you seen how she works her hands? She could fly this ship so precisely. She's got this.
I could also
Knock
fly
on
us
wood.
into the sun, if you so
I mean-
ever please.
Well, yeah, we have a phase cloak. We can just do that.
We need a 4 here, right?
You need a 4.
Okay. Can I use my commanding officer trait to give her my determination?
You certainly can.
I'll also use Bold Con to give you.
I was thinking if you
treats.
spend your determination 2, that's automatically 4 successes if we're allowed to do that.
Oh,
Mhm.
Ooh,
No,
that's-
you can't double stack determination like that, but you could. So the way it would work is you would give Mitz your determination. She would then spend it to get the 2 free successes. She would still have 1 determination remaining that if the end roll is not in your favor, you could spend the determination to re-roll.
Okay.
And how do they track this for determination uses on their sheet? Sounds like one way or another, Mitz is probably using 2 on the same thing.
Potentially, yeah.
Cool. Sounds like Mitz gets a advancement.
Yep. But yeah. I think you're rolling
So,
3
control
dice with
con.
determination and a focus here.
Do I not have to use Bold Con as an emergency precaution thing?
No, if you want a free reroll,
That way you can have a free reroll and the determination reroll, and then we really have a lot of rerolls.
Better safe than sorry.
all right.
Better safe than smashing their ship in half.
Very true.
Well, you
Hey.
can reroll that 20.
Definitely. But damn, are we were rolling a lot of 20s.
Okay. So you have 2 successes. You need 4. You
Hold
would
on.
then have to spend your second point of determination to then reroll the 19 and
I-
the 15.
I don't
Actually,
think
wouldn't
she
the
selected
19
these-
be a 1?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
19
you're
should
right.
be a
That
1.
19 would be a 1. Okay.
She's got 4 successes.
3. Yeah, she would have. Okay, she does have 4. Good call there. Good call. So, Mitz, what does it look like as you back the Wolf-Rayet up and perform a docking maneuver? What does that look like?
I try to be as careful as I can and as precisely as I can so that no one gets killed.
I mean, hey, we'll take it. So what that looks like then is the Wolf-Rayet kind of spins around, opens up its main cargo bay, and then sort of almost like a Pac-Man just sort of tries to configure a way to like latch around like the landing ramp around the hole in the hull of the alien vessel. And then you activate a force field such that the liquid coming out of the ship is contained within the cargo bay.
Recycling. Cool.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to communicate over to the away team, to the doctor, to go ahead and evacuate the people that are there because we're not going to be able to save the ship.
All right, I'll get them moving. They are deathly afraid of Lyra, so I think if we just have her start running in a direction, they'll run the other direction.
Hurting.
All right, now, if everyone could make a
Oh my
nice,
God, what the hell
orderly
is that?
fashion
Oh my
and just
God.
move on through the tube, everything
Oh
will
my
be
God.
fine, dears. And, darling, there's nothing to worry about. The situation is completely under control.
You made that one faint. That's another patient I have to deal with.
At least you can pick them up now.
Yep.
Oh, here, doctor, let me lend you a hand. She bends down and picks up the unconscious one, which I'm sure terrifies everybody else
Terrifies
even more.
every other alien. The other aliens are now like freaking out. Their fins are vibrating. They're just like their face tentacles are like full extended and just sort of like they're freaking out. they are majorly freaking you out. But the good news is you are able to get all of the aliens into the cargo bay. You are able to siphon enough of their liquid atmosphere into the cargo bay that the entire cargo bay is filled. They will be able to survive. No issues there. And at this point, you just have to fly out of the nebula. Easy, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. He said the
Oh,
E word.
Lord.
Because I have 4 threat.
Captain, polarize the hull plating. The shields are offline.
It's been polarized.
So, Mitz, no pressure. Control and con. Difficulty of 3. Complication range 16 to 20.
Wow.
I believe in you.
Once again, putting the lives of everyone on this ship on the shoulders of a Romulan.
It's going to look
How
great in
ironic.
your report.
Yeah.
Hey, the Tal Shiar are very capable.
Special forces.
May I use
Hoorah.
bold con?
Yeah, I will take a treat.
So it's
You could use it. You still have 1 determination left as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could spend determination here.
given the weight of it, yes, I will.
Okay. Make sure to check that
And
box
remem-
when you perform task.
Yes.
Mhm.
And also, if you use the same value at least twice total, apparently that counts for some kind of advancement. So if you pick your determination value based on one you've done before, you'll probably get an advancement right here.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Assuming we survive.
Yes,
big.
assuming we survive.
I mean, you can't roll 2 20s. I mean, statistically,
Well, now that you mentioned
Uh-huh.
it.
The odds are pretty high, but yeah.
yeah, 1 in
1 in
400
400.
chance.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Whoa.
fine. If you really wanted to, you could. Well, you have to because the 18 is a complication.
I will.
Take a reroll.
Just 1 dice.
Okay, you're
There
good.
we go.
Whew.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
you're good. You're good. So, Mitz,
Phew.
this has been a very stressful day, Mitz, but it is with some relief, I imagine, that you are able to take the Wolf-Rayet away from the literally sinking, literally being blown apart by lightning alien vessel. You are able to take the Wolf-Rayet out of the nebula, and it is now at this very moment that you are at a safe distance. The nebula is no longer expanding, that your jury rig fails and the impulse engines go offline.
Captain, do you want shields or impulse back first? Or the
Let's start with
proto-dread, I
shields.
guess.
Let's
Shields
start with the
on
shields.
it. Working it now.
And I think as you start to do all that repair work, because there's no longer any danger, we can skip ahead a little bit.
Indeed.
So we skip ahead, we'll say about 5 hours, because it probably takes about 5 hours to get everything on the Wolf-Rayet back up to where it should be. At this point,
Splendid.
you have learned that the axolotl creatures are from the Riveti Consortium. That they are actually a group much similar to the Federation. That they are just sort of out there exploring. They just do it for fun. They just sort of explore. And their planet, their homeworld, is actually a close jump from here, only 3 light years.
Good.
Well.
Meridian wants to consult her notes because she feels like she's read Riveti Consortium before. In either Amaterasu logs or some other logs somewhere.
I'm consulting my own notes. It could be a case where I'm using the same name twice, but let me verify.
Because it does sound familiar to me too. Dear.
Oh, you know what it was? And that's okay, so this is a goof on my end. The Riveti were the people that did the or at least
Shark
the
people?
the shark tank is what it was. So that's my error. So I have to come up with a new name for this consortium.
They're actually there was a glitch in the translator. This is the Rivati.
Yes, that's in fact, yeah. Let's make that it is the Rivati, and they get very offended when you call them the Rivetti. Very offended.
Captain's just glad to
They
meet some
should.
people who actually want to talk to us.
Yeah. No, I mean the captain of the vessel. Again, I'm just going to call him Steve for the sake of convenience, and also his name is not being translated by the universal translator. So unless you really
Name is,
exactly, yeah.
Captain Steve.
Yeah.
But Steve is very thankful. In fact, as you maybe meet with him on the other side of a force field between the cargo bay and the rest of the ship, Steve just kind of says, well, thank you for saving us. The Rivati consortium will, of course, compensate you for any damages that may have occurred. And we would be happy to share any knowledge. If you are explorers, as much as I believe you are, then perhaps we can do an exchange of knowledge.
Well, we require no compensation, but an exchange of knowledge is what we're out here for. We always like to meet new life and new civilizations. It's part of our charter.
Very good. Well, in that case, I will see to it that your helms individual, your helms person, receives some kind of commendation from my government. They did some very fancy flying. And I do have one request. Don't that spider lady, whatever she was, don't show her to the Ravati unless you want to cause mass panic. Just don't.
Are snake
make
girls
notes.
fine?
What's a snake?
Me. She sort of slithers in. It's like an eel, sort of.
Yeah, you resemble one of the eels.
Are those well-respected eels, or are they feared in your culture?
I mean,
In course.
the larger
Or
ones
appetizer.
can be used as transport vessels. So,
Ooh, that's exciting.
Well,
yeah. And yeah, I'd like our final scene for the evening to be that as you finally drop off the Ravati and you get your shiny data that they promised. They also do pass along a shiny seashell for Mitz. So Mitz, you now have a shiny seashell. Congratulations. But I'd like you to imagine that this entire time, poor Ensign Reeds. Reeds nearly got blown out into space. He had to fix the hole in the hull himself. And then he goes to the cargo bay, which is covered in the viscous remains of the atmosphere you had to hold the Ravati in. And he just sighs and pulls out a bucket and starts mopping up the cargo bay. And that's where I'll end today's session.
lower deckers.
Lower decks.
But yeah, what did you all
Banana
think?
hot.
I will admit that was partially from the Ion Storm mission brief, but of course I gave it the ELH flair.
I loved it. That was great.
Yeah,
I loved it. That was a lot of fun.
There were some tense moments there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
Tense
I've
moments, people being terrified of spiders, very funny.
of course, you gotta have
that was
moments like
good.
those.
Yeah.
No, and it's one of those things where I have been trying to find different ways to spend my threat because, except for the Klingon game, rest in peace, it's been kind of a challenge to really find ways to spend threat. So I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little bit. Plus,
So what you're saying, we should give you more threat.
oh yeah, I make it fun.
We love handing treats.
Just don't give me 13 because Borg Cube. Except you're in Andromeda, so it would be the
Yeah.
Andromeda
There's no
equivalent
Borg
of
cubes
Borg Cube.
here. Yeah.
Well, it could still be the Borg.
And Drama Borg.
Andromeda Borg.
One very,
No, I
very
mean-
confused. The Q summons.
There's a transwarp accident on their end, and they end up getting flung into the Andromeda galaxy.
Oh God!
Nothing
Or they're
is
trying a new
preventing
portal
you.
or something.
I attest Andromeda Q can just a Borg cube.
They could. I'm still debating on what kind of cue to throw at you. Like, I have an idea. I'm just waiting for the right moment for the cue to show up. So.
Uh-huh.
All right.
How we
Well,
gonna
Twitch,
deal
stick
with 'em?
around because we are going to raid somebody. But YouTube, this is where we say goodbye. Bye bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.